So I'm going to do tutorial number 2 straight away. So I did tutorial number 3 about how to use OBS. So this is I'm just going to dive straight into it. So I would then bring up Vegas Pro. I would import what I was going to do. Import media. I would find the actual file, and the file would appear up here in blue. Sometimes you have to work these windows out because sometimes they can freeform on you. And then you just drag that into whatever you want to do. I've already done that, so I'm not going to do that again. And I've just dragged it straight in. So I want to fix up the sound. Go over here to render as, and I've already picked some presets. So I want to always go to HD. So this is my HD setting here. So if I want to render this particular video right now, because that yellow highlight there to that yellow highlight there contains the whole thing, so I will be rendering this whole thing. You got to make sure of that, because you can this is how I've made mistakes before. So you can actually move this to only include some of it, so you can actually like export loops or export small parts of the video if you want to. But if you want to render the whole movie, video, film, whatever, you're gonna make sure that that highlighted area is wherever you want. So when you press render, it'll be rendering exactly what that does. So render as, I only want to get the audio out of it. My audio program is an old one, but it still does 32-bit rendering. So you press render. I've already rendered it. And then I'll bring up Cool Edit. Cool Edit has been around for 3 decades. It became Adobe Audition. Comes up with these tips as soon as you open it up. So next tip, you can learn all about Cool Edit Pro just from that. So I've already read all of them. So Cool Edit Pro, where are we? Open. I'm actually not sure where it oh, there it is. Always have stuff dumping into a place that you know. So it's dumping into documents. Chronicles of SSS first tutorial. This is the audio from my first tutorial I've ever done. And you look over here, and most of it's mono. And I look over to my audio capture device. And somewhere along the line, it's fucking going all the way to the right. I'm just going to zero that. And then, so if I double click on one side here, I have to click, okay, these ones that have got the different colors on the different sides up the top here, that will highlight that one, and that will highlight the other one, and that's if you want to highlight both of them. So I only want to highlight that one. I will copy. I'll wait for it to copy. And I'll switch over to the other side. I'll highlight all of that. And I will go paste. Everything's highlighted. The cursors go from the front to the back. So it is now writing. I'm making a mono audio, stereo. Sorry, I'm making the audio stereo from a mono. I'm interested. I think there might be a dodgy wire. I might be fixing a open circuit somewhere along this line. It very well could be. I'm not working with super expensive equipment here. I'm just waiting for it to... Cool Edit Pro was what we used when I first started doing radio a long time ago, like a long time ago. So now we have left and right. So switch back to this one. So this is the wave. You can just scroll in with the wheel and actually come down to, like, you can actually manipulate. This is still zooming in, still zooming in, still zooming in, still zooming in. I'm just rolling the wheel here. So I'm zooming back out. So you can actually see the waves. So this is very soft. So click in the middle here to highlight, double click in the middle to highlight everything. Amplitude. I like to use hard limiting rather than amplify. With amplify you can do a whole range of stuff. Most of these presets are actually presets that I've done, which is just manipulating these. So I don't want to do that so much, but hard limiting. So if you hard limit everything to negative 0.1, it's just below the max level. But it'll, if something, so over here, you'll start seeing these waves go beyond this when these are still low. So hard limiting, it stops them squeaking and trashy and white noising. So 3D, this is a 3 dB boost, so it's actually a doubling. Every 3 dB is a doubling. So if you do 3 dB every time, you'll just be doubling the amplitude. Decibels is a logarithmic scale, it is not linear. 6 decibels is a tripling, per se. It's a doubling of a doubling. So I've just made it double. So I'm going to double click on hard limiting again and just do the same thing. I've got snap 2 on my mouse. I always have snap 2 because you can just sit there and triple click and then things will happen. You can control this whole thing through hotkeys on a computer if you want to. So that's okay, but you'll see after I do this a few times, the audio will have some punch as well. I recommend doing lots of 3 dB boosts. If you can, do lots of 1 dB boosts, rather than just going in there and doing a 12 dB boost at the start. I don't know why. You have less error rate, I think. Maybe, I don't know. I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing to this audio at the moment. You see there's another doubling, so that's starting to get okay. It's always better for the customer to be turning the sound down if they want to, rather than them not fucking being able to hear your product. So I think this is the 5th time that I'm going to be putting a 3 dB boost on the audio. It's starting to, let's just hear it. So I'm going to give a big hello to everyone out there in Radioland. Hope you're having a good time. Chronicles of SSS here, teaching my first masterclass of OBS. Alright, so there is a little bit of noise in the background. So there's a bit of hiss. I'm going to give it a really light, high hiss reduction, light hiss reduction. Just going to do a light hiss reduction. These condenser mics pick up a lot of ambient stuff. So all I'm doing is providing a filter. These are all just filters. You can't do too much noise reduction, otherwise it starts sounding robot-y. So I'm going to give a big hello to everyone out there in Radioland. Hope you're having a good time. Chronicles of SSS here, Teaching my first masterclass of. I reckon it's still got a little bit of noise in there. You should do noise straight away. Because everything. Maybe I should have. It's a trade-off. Sometimes, honestly, I've read articles that go either way. I did go through amplifying, and then I've done noise reduction, which is what I'm doing here. Some people. So I'm going to give a big hello to everyone out there in Radioland. Hope you're having a good time. Chronicles of SSS here, teaching my first masterclass of OBS. Okay, so some people say that you do noise reduction first. Some people say you should do noise reduction after amplification because the computer has a bigger range to deal with the noise. You just heard that then. Ooh. So I'm going to give a big hello to everyone out there in Radioland. Hope you're having a good time. There is still a noise back there. So I'm going to get the noise floor. Click on here, that get noise floor. It analyzes your sound. Let's see if that does anything. As with anything in this program, you just up here, if you don't like it, so I'm going to go, okay, see what this guy does. But up here, there's an undo. So if you don't like the sound, just undo it. It's like one of my old friends described it as Kino. You'll notice over here I've got a blank spot. This bit here is a blank spot. On OBS, one of the screens I didn't actually have an audio capture device in there, so I apologise for the dead air, but I do come back. Alright, let's rewind. So I'm going to give a big hello to everyone out there in Radioland. Hope you're having a good time. Chronicles of SSS here, teaching. I think it's very bassy. We've gotten rid of the noise now, I think. I think that's if you click on noise reduction, you actually have to load a profile. So you have to load a noise into noise reduction via here. So you can sample it. So you sample a sound, put it into load profile, and you'll see a noise profile here. And then via these settings here, it will try and cancel that noise that you've put into the profile out of everything here, if it's highlighted. So all we worked with at the moment is hiss reduction and hard limiting, but we're also amplifying when we're using hard limiter. When the hard limit, there's 3 dB. There's 3 dB of gain there. You can set that to whatever you want. Hard limiter is actually a compressor, so you can. It's a compressor. It's what it is. Hard limiter is a compressor. So I'm going to cancel that. So I think it's a bit bassy. So I'm going to highlight it. This is normal view. That's highlighted. Graphic equalizer. In a graphic equalizer, there's a whole range of presets. I'm going to reset all to 0, which is this one here. So therefore I can now play with the audio. So I'm going to pull about that much bass out. You don't really hear, like, what's that, 31 hertz, negative or less than 31 hertz. You don't hear that. You don't need it. But your body feels it. So you can preview here. So I'm going to give a big hello to everyone out there in Radioland. Hope you're having a good time. Chronicles of SSS here, teaching my first masterclass of OBS. So here, once you've installed it, obviously, you have the scenes. You can click between the scenes. I'm not going to click between the scenes because well, I did too many clicks. It didn't like it. Not while it's playing. I ran out of page space. My computer's not that fast. Even though it's an i7. It's 8 gig of RAM. It's pretty cool. So, see this is about how much it does. I just want to put the bass. Pulled too much bass out of it before. I'm just going to try and give it a little curve here. Preview. So I'm going to give a big hello to everyone out there in Radioland. Probably still hope you're having a good time. Chronicles of SSS here. Teaching my first masterclass of OBS. So here, once you've installed it, obviously, reset all to 0. You have the scenes. You can click between the scenes. I'm not going to click between the scenes because all my private info is on the other screen, and most of these are all me showing the other screen because I've got 2 screens set up. So you can click between them though. Down here, right screen, this one's called YouTube. Left screen, YouTube 2, Facebook. Black Ghost is set up to watch movies. I was the sound designer and music composer for Black Ghost. Name dropper. We also run a few different things, but you can change here. You can't change it while you're recording. I don't really want that. But up here is profile. You can create many profiles. So if you click on a profile for a particular podcast that you're doing, and then if you want to switch back to another project that you're doing, that's all done in profile. So the profile you can change out. You can change your profile, and profile actually changes stuff in here. Okay. But you're always left with the same scenes. So scene, this is called right screen. So this graph here it's recording the right screen. That's the actual so that's display capture. So it will play if you click down here. So this is your sources. Blue, these are all your inputs. Sources, inputs. So this top one is display capture. I like that. I like that. If you click on here, you'll notice that it goes red as a preset. So this red bit gets highlighted here. If you click on this, hang on, I've locked it. So this is the lock and unlock. So you can unlock and lock it if you don't want to talk, if you don't want to do anything. So I pretty much set this up. I could set this up with the eyes just a little bit. Chronicles of SSS podcast. That's now a setting. How's that? All right. So now it's just going to do its thing. I'm going to listen to it, see if it's okay. Maybe I could pump it up a bit because when you hard limit, it doesn't actually worry about the limiter. You could amplify this right up to the. Oh, I just pulled a lot of amplitude out of this. So I'm going to go back to the hard limiting, give it another doubling. What I was saying was you can amplitude this right up so the whole screen is full of amplitude. Wave volume is amplitude. It's voltage. Basically, it's voltage. So it just doubled then. Give it a listen. So I'm going to give a big hello to everyone out there in Radioland. Still very bassy. Hope you're having a good time. Chronicles of SSS here. But it's warm. Teaching warm. My first masterclass of OBS. So here. I'll show you what it looks like doubling this again, because you can see a lot of these are actually, there's a lot of waves already reaching their peak, but once they get to their peak, the amplitude is cut off. So you can see down here you got the level. So I'm going to give a big hello. The level never goes to out there red. In Radioland. Never goes to red. Hope you're having a good time. See it down here. Chronicles of SSS here. Teaching my first masterclass of OBS. So here. Once you. So now I've done that, I feel there is a little bit of about there. I can hear. Oh, cancel. I'm gonna undo, because when you undo something. Okay, so this is a little trick. If you undo something and then redo something, you basically, because you see, if you undid it halfway through, it only did some of it. So you undo that, and then you undo again, and then you redo, and you've gone back to the last step that you actually had. So what I was doing was graphic equalizer. I want to click preview, not okay. So I'm going to give a big hello to everyone out there in Radioland. Hope you're having a good time. Chronicles of SSS here, teaching my first masterclass of OBS. So here, once you've you have to reset that all to zeros. You have the scenes. You can click between the scenes. I'm not going to click between the scenes because all my private info is on the other screen, and most of these are all me showing the other screen because I've got 2 screens set up. So you can click between them though. Down here, right screen, this one's called YouTube. Left screen, YouTube 2, Facebook. Black Ghost is set up to watch movies. I was the sound designer and music composer for Black Ghost. We also run a few different things, but you can change here. You can't change it while you're recording, but up here is profile. You can create many profiles. So if you click on a profile for a particular podcast that you're doing, and then if you want to switch back to another project that you're doing, that's all done in profile. So click profile, you can change your profile, and profile actually changes stuff in here. Alright. Bang. There was a frequency. The writing was too small then for me to. You can scroll back if you like. So there was a frequency in there I didn't like. It's probably one of the fans on my laptop, something like that. I have. Okay, so I'm going to play. So I'm going to give a big hello to everyone out there in Radioland. Hope you're having a good time. Chronicles of SSS here. Well, teaching my first masterclass of OBS. I think that's okay. So here. So I'm going to stop that. Save as. This is very rough. I'm going to rename that point 1. 1.1.wav. Should always give files a different name so you're just not overwriting stuff all the time. Okay, so I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to go back into Sony Vegas Pro. Where are we at? 14. Import media. Where's that saving to? Save as. It's in documents. Cool. Cancel. That's in documents. So in here somewhere, we're going to have TCOS tutorial 1, 1.1 WAV. Open. It's going to show up in this bit here, and just drag that straight into here, and mute this one. So now we have new audio. So I'm going to give a big hello to everyone out there in Radioland. Hope you're having a good time. Chronicles of SSS here,
teaching
Alright.
my first masterclass of OBS.
So I just fixed
So here.
fixed the audio.
Once you've installed it, obviously,
I don't know if you can see.
you have the scenes. You can click between the scenes.
Yeah,
I'm not going to click between the scenes because
bring these up a bit.
all my private info is on the other screen, and most of these are all.
So you can see that wave there. It was
the other screen.
It
'cause I've
was
got
mono.
2 screens set up.
Was it just,
So you
it
can
was
click
just
between
right.
them though.
It's only the right.
Down here, right
So
screen.
here
This one's
I've
called YouTube.
duplicated
Left
it.
screen, YouTube 2, Face.
So I've taken that. I've duplicated it into there. I've amplified it. I've taken noise off, and some frequencies in the graphic equalizer. That's pretty much sound design, sound engineering. I suppose I'm not a ticketed sound engineer, but I did 4 years of it in high school, only to have my music teacher get done for indecent dealing. Thank you, Mr. We're all going to try and pop out the vein in your forehead today and every day. Brett Mackay won that particular game. But yeah, thank you, Mr. Music Teacher in grade 12 for fucking me over. But I hope you gain something out of this. So I'm just going to go render it as HD, straight out HD. And then I'm just going to post it up on YouTube. I'm not doing an intro, I'm not doing an outro, I'm not doing credits. Until the whole show is just basically one big credit for me. So hope this helps you out, and we can all do better. Peace.